What's up guys, welcome to another very exciting tutorial. In this tutorial I'm going to show you how to create this swinging sign effect. As it swings it will reveal the text. So let's jump right in. So let's first start by creating a new comp. Let's select this preset, social media, hit OK, and let's bring in some assets. Drag all this to this folder and name it assets. Then let's name the comp to main. Before we start creating the elements, so let's bring in the guides. Let's hit Control R, that way we can bring in these guides, the rulers. Let's zoom in by scroll wheel and drag in the, before that actually let's hold zoom out and hold spacebar and drag it like this, and let's drag a guide from the top here, maybe right around like 40 pixels, and let's bring in one more from the bottom, also 40 pixels, just about there, looks good. And let's do the sides. This way we'll make sure everything, all the elements are aligned properly, so that's why we are doing this. Now let's go to this corner and bring in one more, that way all around the design these guides will help us to keep things aligned properly. So let's fit to the view and let's go create a new solid. Let's hit OK. Now let's go to left. I have some color palettes here. I'll choose this color palette and let's go to the solid settings and pick the color. Actually I don't have that color, but let's pick this color and make it, adjust it to something lighter like this for the background. That looks good. Okay, select the ellipse tool and hold Ctrl Shift to make it a perfect circle, and you can get rid of the fill. You can also go here, selection tool, and you can change the properties here as well. I don't know, for some reason it's kind of squeezed up, I don't know. You can't really figure out what's happening here, but yeah, that's somewhere you can try to change the properties, but you can change it here too. Let's change the color to black, or let's select the color rather from here. There go, it's kind of black. I think let's turn the opacity down and drag it up in this corner. Make sure I align it to the guide we just put in, and let's go and create a repeater. The repeater and go to position, change the size a little bit, and the position, X position. That looks just about right to me. And oh, not this there. Let's lock the background, that way we don't accidentally drag it. Now let's select the circles. Make sure to select the original circle, that way you can drag it. And also you can use the arrows to bring it down. Use the arrows. Now it's perfectly aligned. Next, let's bring in this logo. Let's put it in the corner. Let's scale it down and add a fill. change the color to this color. That looks good. And now let's zoom out and bring in the telephone icon. And let's change the opacity to something like that, 50%, and type in the number. I'll just put the 000 something. Make sure snapping is on, that way it will snap to the guys. And change the color to this, and let's also Control D, duplicate it, and hold Shift and drag it here, and rename it to www.yoursite.com. and let's make sure it is aligned within the guides. Let's scale it down and bring it right at the edge of the guide layer, and let's duplicate this layer and name it to grid. Let's drag it right around here, and let's enable the fill, disable the stroke there, stroke. Go to the repeater and let's add one more copy, 4 copies. That looks good, and make it closer by adjusting the position. Let's duplicate this repeater. Actually, make the size a little bit smaller first, and let's adjust the position here again. Yeah, that's better. And Control D to duplicate this. Let's go to the second copy, and let's go to the position, make the position next to 0, and adjust the Y position. Now you will have 4 copies on the y-axis, so this is like a grid. Now we can duplicate this and drag it here down. One more time, duplicate it and Control D, and then bring it here. These are just optional, I just want to show you the techniques how to use the repeaters for you guys. Let's type in the main text. Let's make it slightly larger. New arrival. Let's type in new arrivals. Now let's break it and align. Go to align it to center. Let's drag it up, and let's change the font. Wait, maybe no, this font doesn't look really nice. Let's change it to this font. Yeah, that looks much better. Okay, now let's duplicate the text and double click, and let's rename it to limited time only. That looks good. Now let's change the colors. Let's go to the libraries and find the colors that you want. There you go, this one. Let's give it a white stroke too, and let's go to the next one. Select this color. Yeah, that's good, and let's give it a white stroke as well. That's good. Now let's add a layer style drop shadow. Let's solo it to see how it looks. Yeah, that looks better. Let's unsolo it And let's copy this layer style and paste it to this layer. That way they both have the same layer style, the drop shadow. Now let's bring it up. It's time to create the sign, I guess. So let's actually bring in this model. Let's scale it down, maybe slightly more. Make sure she's on the guide there. The guide. Now let's create a shape. Select the pen tool and create a shape, something like this. And as you click, make sure you hold it. Click and hold, that way you will have these handles. Otherwise you will not have these handles. Now let's try to adjust these handles and see what kind of shape we can come up with. Okay, that is looking okay. This looks okay, I guess. Let's change the color to this. Actually not here, this is I think character. No, this is character. Let's go select there. And let's go here to the fill. Actually click on the fill and then select. There you go. Now let's drag this one below that layer. Now we have a shape. It looks great. And let's create a new layer, solid, and let's add a noise, fractal noise. Go to effect and generate CC light rays and change it to none here, and drag it and change its blending mode to add. Now let's increase the brightness, radius rather, I guess. And let's bring it down like that. That is looking good. So now it's time to create the sign. Let's create a new comp. Let's go with sales sign, hit OK, and let's drag in this sign. This is a PNG file. Let's hit S and scale it down. Bring it right around here. And let's select the pen tool and click here, hold shift, and then click again outside. You can see you create a straight line. Let's fit to the view and let's zoom in using the middle scroll view, and let's select the point and then drag it here and hit UU to review the properties. Go to stroke and select round caps. That way the corners are going to be round, and bring it down like that. Also just change the anchor point. That way it will scale from that point. And next let's type in the text 50% off. Let's drag in this to center it to the sign and scale it down. Okay, zoom in a little bit and change the color to white. And let's go to the main comp and drag in this sign just we created. And Now press R, create a keyframe here and go to 1 second and create a keyframe, 3 seconds, sorry, 2 seconds, and let's bring in the anchor point right up here. That way it will rotate from there. There you go. Now for the first value, let's give it 31 and let's go here and minus 31. Okay, now here let's give it 31 again, positive, and now let's make a preview. This is really linear, so let's select all the keyframes, right click, keyframe assistant, easy ease. This is how the curve looks like. Let's make a preview. Now if you think it is too fast, or you can select all the keyframe, hold Alt and drag the last keyframe. So let's make a preview now. That is looking much smoother, I guess slower. Let's go to effect, select the layer, effect, distort, CC Bandit. And as you can see, it is bending from the wrong place. Let's reset it. Let's make sure it is bending from the top right here on the corner, the top. Let's reset and drag this all the way to the bottom and this one to the top, and make sure it is here, right? The starting point has to be on the top and the end point has to be at the bottom. As you can see, it is cutting. You can double click to the comp and go to comp settings, change it to this. Let's go and take a look. It doesn't look right, so let's go back again and let's adjust the height of the comp. There you go, it's looking much better, I think. Now let's drag it up a little bit, somewhere around here. Now you can see it is bending properly. Not reset, sorry, undo, Control Z, and let's make it 0. Go to the beginning and create a keyframe on the bend, and right around here give it 25, and here create a keyframe, give it a negative 25, and here again go to 0. Now these keyframes stays linear. You don't need to do anything. Let's preview. That is looking more natural, I guess. Now it's time to review the text. Let's select this and Control D to duplicate it. Let's rename it to Matte. And let's double click it and let's duplicate this sign and hold Alt and drag it on top. It will change. Now it says on comp. Let's select the pen tool, hold Shift and click, create a shape like this. Let's go to selection tool and make sure it is right at the edge of the stroke, and let's bring it below. Let's go to the main comp, and now you can see we have a shape. For some reason, because of the bend effect, I think it doesn't really covers the whole area, so we need to go back again. Let's select the pen tool again. Let's create a new shape. Make sure no layers selected when you create a shape. And let's bring the anchor point, maybe let's parent it to the main layer. Let's drag it here. We need to cover this area. I think that will do. Yeah, I think it is good. And now let's go back to the main comp and let's see, and let's select the text. Go to Effect, Channel, Set Matte, and select the matte layer. And let's turn it off, the matte layer. Now you can see it will kind of reveal the text and hide the text as it passes. Now let's Control C, edit, copy, edit, paste, and invert this to the next text. So now as it reveals, the other one kind of hides. This is exactly what we want. Now let's select this grid layer, change the color to white. Select this one and change to white as well. And let's go to the sign again. Select and Control D to duplicate. Let's go to the layer below and name it to shadow. Sign shadow, and let's go to the beginning and change the rotation to something like this, and go to the middle. Also something like this, negative. And let's copy this keyframe from the beginning and edit, copy. Now select it, edit, paste. Now it has the same value, and let's go to generate fill. Give it a black color, and let's turn the opacity T to something like 20%. Go to Effect again, select the effect, blur, fast blur, and give it a nice blur, like 14%, I guess. Now if you want, you can turn on the motion blur. It will be more natural if you turn on the motion blur. That is looking really good. Now let's hit UU. If you want to change the speed, you can select all the keyframes like this, and you can drag the last keyframe if you want. But I think I'll just leave it as it is for now. And you need to make sure also you do the same for the other one. Anything that has the keyframes. Okay, let's trim this area, walk area, right click. Trim to walk area. Now it is exactly 3 seconds. Let's drag into a new comp. This icon will create a new comp. And let's go to comp settings. Change it to 33 seconds. Okay. And let's zoom out. It's exactly 3 seconds. Let's right click, time, enable time remove. And now let's alt click and select this loop out keyframe, sorry, the expression. You can drag it to 12 seconds. You can see there's a drop frame. You can go to the last keyframe and go 1 frame back like this and create a keyframe and delete the previous one. You can delete it. And now we have something weird happening at the last frame. I think it's because of the motion blur. Let's get rid of it from the main comp. And now you can see that weird effect is gone. Let's make a quick preview, spacebar. And that's how it looks. It looks great. But if you want to add motion blur, you can still do that. This is looking great. Let's go to effect, time, CC force motion blur. Now this will give a motion blur to whatever is moving in the frame. I don't think we need to change any settings. Keep in mind this effect is kind of intense, so you need to make sure you add this at the very end when you're ready to render. So let's go to the main comp. I forgot to add this texture. Let's put it on top, but below this model and the sign, change it to multiply and hit T and change the opacity to something like this. That is looking great. Now it has some nice texture. And that is pretty much it for this tutorial, guys. I hope you guys learned something new. And please, if you did so, don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment if you have any questions. And I'll see you in the next one.